Once upon a time, two police officers named Akinyemi Borasare and Nathan Vickery got a call about someone trespassing somewhere they shouldn't be. When they got there, they found a person named Myra Martinez who was really drunk and didn't want to leave her workplace.
I got there, I had a drink, and then after that it was kind of like scuffling, and then...
One of the officers, Akinyemi Borasare, tried to handle the situation, but things got really bad. He started being really rough and aggressive with Myra, even hitting her multiple times. So people who saw this happen told the other officer, Nathan Vickery, what they saw. Vickery reported the incident to his superior officer, leading to an ensuing interrogation. He and his colleague, Borasare, proceeded to the jail, with Vickery driving and Borasare following.
I'm guessing you're driving,
I am
her,
correct.
and I guess Borasare followed you.
Correct.
To the 35. You guys get to the jail.
Vickery did not inform his supervisor about the incident, as his supervisor had indicated being off the radio. Despite the time-consuming process, Vickery showed dedication, even though he arrived slightly late for a subsequent assignment. The entire time, Myra remained in the car, and the hobble was removed before she exited from the driver's side. Vickery took the lead in this decision, as Myra's behavior had calmed down by that point. The detectives initially tried to gather all the information about what occurred after the arrest. They wanted to find out any differences in the details and asked specific questions about the suspect. They'd also inquired about the arrest report and who authored it to determine if there might be any falsehoods involved. Once in the backseat, the suspect remained relatively quiet, refraining from using profanities. The detective decided to remove her hobble to facilitate cooperation. They opened the back door and offered to take off the hobble, allowing her legs to be more comfortable. She agreed to this arrangement. Afterward, Vickery left the scene due to an upcoming commitment, while Borasare stayed with the suspect. As for the suspect's behavior in the Sally Port, Vickery didn't observe any disruptive actions during the short time he was present. It's worth noting that Vickery wasn't present for the entire incident leading to the altercation, having departed by that point. Vickery explained that he left Borasare after Myra Martinez was removed from the car, because he had another assignment scheduled. As a result, he entrusted Borasare with the task of signing the docket. Subsequently, he faced inquiries about the incident itself. The detectives inquired whether Vickery had any apprehensions about the use of force in the parking lot. In response, he expressed concern, particularly regarding the frequency of punches. Vickery elaborated that his unease stemmed from both the quantity of punches thrown and the specific targets of those punches. He noted that the situation appeared to involve a significant number of punches aimed at restraining the suspect, rather than justifiable actions for controlling the situation. Vickery appeared worried about the level of force used on Martinez. Despite his reluctance to criticize his colleague, he understood the importance of addressing the situation honestly and doing what is right. Vickery expressed worry about both the number and the specific areas where punches were directed during the incident. He particularly noted that numerous punches, mainly focused on the back and inside, raised concerns about pain compliance and forcefulness. Even though the handcuffs were not yet on, he mentioned that strikes were intended to prompt compliance with their commands. Vickery also disclosed that he informed Sergeant Weeks about his concerns by phone during his transition to a robbery deployment. This quick conversation served as a way to voice his worries and provide a preliminary heads-up about the situation. Vickery stated that too many punches were used, which he felt was unnecessary. He couldn't see everything clearly, but believed that hitting the suspect on the side was too much. Even though the suspect wasn't handcuffed yet, just one or two punches would have likely made her cooperate. He also informed the detectives in advance about the incident to give them a heads-up. Vickery was informed about the video of the parking lot incident, and he received a call from a fellow officer who wanted him to be aware of it. When asked about his opinion on the video, Vickery mentioned that there were some details he missed during the actual event, possibly due to the adrenaline and distractions. He communicated some concerns to Sergeant Weeks earlier, but not all of them were seen in the video. Vickery emphasized that he wasn't trying to be the moral police and acknowledged that they were dealing with an intoxicated person who had been uncooperative with her supervisors and was asked to leave the premises. The situation led them to respond and attempt an arrest, during which they faced challenges getting both handcuffs on and dealt with the potential of the suspect using her handcuffs as a weapon, though this part might not have been captured in the video. The detectives asked Nathan about the situation and if he remembered others around. He mentioned he didn't see anyone else, but he admitted he might have been mistaken as his main focus was on handling the suspect. When questioned about a circulating video of the scene, he acknowledged knowing about it. Even though there were parts he didn't witness, he indicated that his stance on excessive force remained consistent in his statement. He acknowledged that often only parts of the situation are highlighted while the full context might be different. Nathan emphasized that during arrests, especially when dealing with non-compliance and physical resistance, things can appear concerning. He explained that calling Sergeant Weeks was the right thing to do, ensuring his superior was informed about the arrest and any potential questions that might arise, regardless of personal opinions on the situation. The detectives commended Nathan for taking the appropriate step of informing his sergeant about the incident. They also emphasized that a video of the crime scene might not reveal the complete story, suggesting that there could be additional factors. Nathan didn't personally speak with Madden, presumably a person involved, nor did he communicate with Officer Borasare before they approached her after he spoke to the management. He couldn't recall exactly when he learned the reasons for her being asked to leave, but he did hear that she was fired for coming to work drunk. In his brief time on the job, which was around 2 months, equivalent to a few work cycles, Nathan had responded to calls with Officer Borasare. One of those calls involved a hands-on situation during a domestic incident where they were trying to detain a husband for felony domestic battery. Although the situation was somewhat intense due to resistance from the husband, Nathan noted that their actions were in line with policy and procedure. He clarified that Myra Martinez was terminated due to her arriving at work under the influence of alcohol. He mentioned that Borasare had discussions with the management regarding this matter. Regarding his previous interactions with Borasare, Nathan highlighted that all procedures were followed appropriately. The detectives then temporarily left, informing Vickery that he would be allowed to leave shortly. However, upon their return, they had further inquiries for him concerning the police report. Nathan confirmed that he had indeed watched the video of the Scores parking lot before finalizing his report. However, he stated that he aimed to construct his use of force report, or TR, independently from the video's influence. He acknowledged that while he had seen the video, his focus during the incident was primarily on the timeline of events. Nathan also mentioned that upon reviewing the video, he realized he had missed certain details, such as instances where Martinez's face was pushed into the ground, which he hadn't observed at the time of the incident. During questioning, Nathan was queried about whether the video of Borasare striking Myra in actions he didn't recall but saw in the video had influenced his use of force report, or TR. He clarified that his report was based solely on his memory of the incident, and he didn't include details from the video, such as Borasare pushing Myra's face onto the ground, since he didn't remember witnessing that action during the actual event. During the conversation, Vickery discussed why he believed his partner might have acted the way he did during the incident. He wished he could provide a clear answer, but he admitted that he didn't fully understand the situation. When asked about his experience with physical fights, he mentioned that he hadn't been in many, mostly during his work as a corrections officer. He talked about how tunnel vision can affect perception during fights, even among trained professionals like SWAT members. He reflected on whether he missed certain things in the video due to adrenaline or not wanting to see them. He explained that he might have missed details because his focus was on detaining the suspect and communicating over the radio. He acknowledged that looking back at the video, he realized moments he missed during the intense situation. The detectives asked Vickery about possible reasons for his partner's actions, but he couldn't provide a clear answer. They questioned why he didn't include certain details in his report, and he admitted that the video was difficult to watch. Vickery was uncomfortable discussing his friend's actions, but expressed his lack of support for what happened and believed further investigation was necessary. They discussed the importance of handling situations swiftly and avoiding excessive force. It also pointed out that video footage might not capture the full context of events, emphasizing the need to consider all aspects. Vickery acknowledged that he might have missed details due to adrenaline and focus on other tasks. He affirmed that his report was based on his recollection and that some details were brought to his attention by the video. Despite knowing about the head slam, he didn't include it in the report because he didn't recall it clearly. This transparency demonstrates Vickery's commitment to honesty and his willingness to address the incident accurately, highlighting the challenges law enforcement officers face in high-stress situations. The detectives concluded the interview with an understanding of Vickery's perspective and the complex nature of on-duty decisions. In the end, This story highlights the tough choices police officers make on duty. Nathan Vickery's honesty during the interview shows how dedicated officers aim to do what's right, even when it's challenging. The detective's questions help us see the real picture behind the scenes. If you found this interesting, subscribe for more, like and share with others, and stay tuned for more stories that give insight into complex situations.